Remarks.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I'm glad we're having this hearing today. I want to welcome our witnesses for being here to testify, and I'm glad to see we have some who would join us in the hearing room. Madam Chairman, with the District of Columbia changing their COVID guidelines effective today, where they no longer require proof of vaccination to enter a building, and with their proposed February 28th of the elimination of an indoor mask mandate, I do hope that the committee will return to our regular in-person hearings very soon. We're here to talk about America's workforce. This is an important topic. We're in a period of great economic uncertainty. The pandemic's changed a lot of the ways that we live and work. Thanks to extravagant spending in Washington, American families are facing 40-year high inflation rates, and paychecks are increasingly stretched to put food on the table, gas in the car, plain and simple. This is a tax on working class. I'm looking forward to the discussion today to hear more about the ways that we can support pathways to good-paying jobs. With all the changes to our economy, now more than ever, it's time for us to think about innovative solutions. Everyone here is interested in finding ways to reduce barriers to employment, but the Biden administration seems to be creating their own barriers to employment. Look no further than the partisan nominee at the Department of Labor, David Weld, is the president's pick to lead the Wage and Hour Division. This is a nominee with a track record stifling innovation and opposing growth opportunities. His nomination is a threat to the gig economy, independent contracting, and the franchise model for businesses, of which many are minority and women-owned. I can't imagine the threat of putting this type of leadership at the Department of Labor, and it instills and the lack of confidence that it instills in employers. This administration also seems to be creating barriers to new training opportunities. Something we should all be able to agree on is the importance of high-quality workforce training and education. This includes apprenticeships. Instead of focusing on how to expand the apprenticeship models, building on what works, the Department of Labor is actually working on eliminating a pathway. Industry-recognized apprenticeships are a promising way to expand the earn and learn model in new industries and to reach new populations of workers. Instead of building on this innovative idea or working with Republicans on how to improve it, this administration has paused the recognition process. If we're going to address barriers to employment, we should be using all the tools in our toolbox, not just the tools that labor unions find acceptable. The White House also wants to put up roadblocks for people who want to work. As businesses were adjusting to the pandemic, the president issued a vaccine mandate. Make no mistake, I encourage every American who's eligible to get vaccinated and to get boosted against COVID. But amid labor shortages, supply chain issues, and already strained workforce, this mandate is the last thing we needed. This sweeping new requirement far exceeded OSHA's legal authority, and the Supreme Court was right to block it. We have to find solutions to keep people in their jobs, schools, and businesses open. I also think we can all agree that Americans can't work or go to school if they don't have safe and reliable child care for their families. Instead of seeking workable bipartisan solutions, my friends on the other side of the aisle insisted to do it themselves in a reckless partisan spending bill. Only in Washington would the answers be to create even more complicated and just disjointed programs rather than to do the simple thing. Fund a program that works and that's had bipartisan support for decades. I'm talking about the Child Care Development Block Grants. Barbara Mikulski and I led the reauthorization of this program in a bill that overwhelmingly passed the Senate and the House with bipartisan support. We can do this again. It doesn't need to be partisan. It needs to be smart. If we're going to find workable and lasting solutions, we've got to find them together. Today's topic has long been an area with support from both sides of the aisle. I'm looking forward to the hearing from our witnesses today about how they're providing access to opportunity to workers in their communities. This work doesn't happen in silos. Collaboration among stakeholders is absolutely crucial. This includes business, education providers, workers, and government. This collaboration is not always easy. I expect some of the barriers that we identify today will come with well-intentioned federal policy, We have an opportunity to think outside the box and find ways to better support the innovative strategies we see at the state and local levels. Madam Chairman, I hope we're smart enough to listen today. I thank the chair.